I'm making a bit of an informal video about 5 things I struggled with my time abroad. So I made a blog post about this, and I wanted this to be a little bit more formal. With these videos, I think people just want to know, like, what are some things that suck about living abroad? So I just want to start off by saying I spent a month in Costa Rica volunteering abroad, and then I had 9 days in San Antonio, Texas, back home, and then I went off to Italy for 3 months because my boyfriend plays basketball there. So amazing. I had the best 4 months of my life. They were unbelievable. But then if you really look back, there were a lot of struggles. So that's what this video is about. What is that? Feels like a pimple. Anyways, so basically the first reason why I struggled was because of the language barrier. I did not really notice this in Costa Rica. I noticed it in Italy. You know, there would be times where I would be out with Gio and his whole team, and I would just spend 2 hours out there just trying so hard to figure out what everybody was talking about. I've studied Italian since I met Gio, but not enough to really converse or be confident in it, and it was very frustrating. Towards the end, I would just stop going out and be like, you know what, everyone's just gonna talk in Italian the entire night, and I really don't want to work my brain like that. So it got to be kind of a bummer, but I also can't complain if I'm not doing the work. I'm not doing the work. I'm not opening my Italian book up every day and learning, so I can't complain. I really need to start practicing. But I did have girlfriends and wives that knew English, so we'd get coffee and we'd go shopping, and that was just so much fun. So yeah, I had an amazing time. I was so blessed that I got to be with girls. Hi, my baby. I got to be with girls that knew the language, so you know, I would get a little bit of a break, and then I talked to my friends at home, so it was nice. But definitely a huge struggle. You just don't realize it, and for 3 months of really not knowing what anyone was talking about every day, it just got to be so frustrating. Number 2 is maintenance was lacking in Italy, so I didn't have too much of this problem. They take about a 3-hour siesta every day, starting at 12 or 1, and the companies or stores open again at like 4, and so you really do have to time everything right. And then not personally, but I know a friend of mine, Joanna, she needed help setting up Wi-Fi. I think it was like a pocket Wi-Fi. I think I have a cat hair in my eye. She wanted to set up her pocket Wi-Fi, but the company that she went to, which is supposed to be specialized in this, didn't know how to do it. So she was so frustrated, and my boyfriend helped out. I think he fixed it, but it's like, it's something that you just take for granted, and then you come to America, and then you're like, oh my God, if I need help with anything, I can just call somebody, and I know it, and I'm helped, and it's good. And you don't realize how amazing that is. You're just kind of really stuck on your own there sometimes. Not all of Italy, not everybody. It was just a little frustrating sometimes when you couldn't get the help that you needed. It's just something that we're all used to in America. That was another struggle. Not too big of a struggle, but one I didn't even think about until I got there. So yeah, look at the baby. So the third one is I actually almost wanted to end my trip in Costa Rica. I was supposed to be greeted by a team. You know, this is my first time going to Central America, anywhere South America at all, and by myself. I wanted to go there for a month to volunteer. First time there, nobody was there to greet me. I called the organization. They said, you know, somebody will be there for you soon. I was like, okay, I'll wait. And then this man drives up. He doesn't know English. He drives it up in a really rundown van and pulls up my name, which is scribbled on a sheet of paper, Alyona. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where people get abducted. Like, this is it. But you know, I said, who else is gonna know me? Like, this is from the organization. So I get in his car and we proceed to talk over the translation app. I don't even know which one. So I enjoy that he tried to talk with me, but I expected something very different. And then the volunteer house that we stayed at was very small. There was 3 girls living in our little room. There was 3 little bunk bed type things, so 6 beds all together, but 3 like bunk bed type structures, because there was no room on the floor, like just a little tiny walkway. That was it. We had to put all of our massive suitcases, because we were all there for a long time. We had to put all of our massive suitcases on the other beds. There was no air conditioning. There was no hot water for showers. The guy that we lived with was, in my opinion, very creepy. He did become pretty nice towards the end, but I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable. And then lucky for me, I actually did work with some animals, because I went there to work for an organization called Neofauna. But the unfortunate part is some of the volunteers who volunteered to build up a school, who volunteered to teach kids, they didn't get to do anything that they wanted to do. My friend Loha from France said that when she got there, the school was perfectly fine. There was nothing to rebuild, nothing to reconstruct. She, I think, helped make envelopes and, I don't know, arts and crafts, I think, is what she did. And then my friend Beth from the UK, she was supposed to be teaching underprivileged kids, but she didn't do anything. I think they slept for like 4 hours a day and everybody was fine. There was a ton of teachers. They weren't lacking, like, you know, it made it seem. So, you know, you paid a lot of money for these programs to do what you're interested in, because I was really interested in working with animals, and a lot of the volunteers didn't get to do that. I will have to say though, because of the organization, I met some of the most amazing people, and I even visited Loha and Beth in the UK a few months later, and now I just absolutely adore them. So even though it was an awful experience at first, like the first 2 weeks I was having a really hard time with it. We all were. We had each other, and that just made everything so much better. It made all the difference in the world, and now it's one of my favorite trips because of the people I was with. So very grateful. But you know, a lot of people didn't know that I struggled and I wanted to leave because it was just awful. Not at all what we thought we were walking into. So yeah, that's the third reason. All right, number 4 is that I did not work for 4 months of my life, which I thought was going to be amazing because I hated my job. I hated who I was there. It was a very toxic work environment. But yeah, I ran out of money so quickly, and I felt like I didn't have a purpose to my life anymore. I thought I would really enjoy it. Like I wanted to get ready and go to a job every morning. I missed being busy. I love working hard. I sat there. I really caught up on all of my Netflix shows. That was awesome. But you know, I waited for Gio to come home. He practices for like 3 hours in the morning, takes a nap, practices for 3 hours after that, and then he comes home, you know, at 8 p.m. is kind of when, and then dinner's at 8, 9 sometimes if we go out. So a lot of my day was just waiting for him. I don't like that. I'm very ambitious. I want to do so much. I want to create so much. I want to learn so much. I want to travel. I want to live my dreams. I have so many things that I want to accomplish, but unfortunately it's gonna be really hard to do that in Italy, and that's gonna be my life for a while. So there was a lot of sitting down and thinking, okay, how can I make my dreams happen while I'm here with him, and how can I, you know, keep earning money, like things I just didn't realize that I had gotten into until, you know, my first trip there. And I'm like, wait, how do I create sustainability and travel back and forth? And that was a huge struggle. You know, people were like, oh, I think you need to be just really grateful, and I'm like, I'm struggling here. I'm having a great time, but in Italy is only as amazing, you know, as it is until, you know, a couple weeks go by and you're like, okay, well, I need to work. Okay, I need to do what I want to do. And I was like, this is an incredible place to be, and I'm so happy to be with Gio, but how am I contributing to society? You know, what is my role? What am I doing? How am I helping somebody? And I just wasn't. I was sitting there. I was gaining weight, sitting there and just losing valuable time, in my opinion. My focus is going to be staying in the States a little bit longer and then going back to Italy for 3 months and staying here maybe 4 or 5 months and going back. I'm gonna start working on a little bit more of my dreams and feeling accomplished when I'm home. That way I can go to him and not resent him and not get angry at him because he's done nothing. I mean, Gio's been incredible. He's very supportive, but you know, I sit there and I'm very jealous that he gets, you know, paid in Italy to live his dream, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, how am I ever gonna do what I want to do? So huge struggle. Didn't realize that. That's why I said it was a little personal and a little weird with my situation, because Gio's a basketball player. He just started playing there, so it's going to be a while. We'll see. It's a blessing, but a struggle. Sometimes people don't understand that, but I'm still so grateful. Yeah. All right, on to number 5. Okay, and number 5 was the fact that I started to feel like my friends and my family were moving on. When I'm away, I speak to my mom every 3 days. With my schedule, the 7-hour time difference, she was working a full-time job. She is working a full-time job. That didn't change. We got to talk 1 time a week on Sundays at around 5 or 6 p.m., which is like right around the time that Gio plays basketball. So again, even with that working out, it still was very hard because it was Gio's basketball schedule. So, you know, I just felt really far from everybody. And I honestly, I even had a friend tell me that she didn't reach out because, you know, there was a 7-hour time difference. And then when she did have time, she just forgot. And that was hard, you know, thinking that people that I found comfort in, that I felt close to, they were forgetting about me and they were moving on, and I was missing out on big moments and weddings and babies, and I didn't like that feeling because for me I was stagnant. I was just sitting there. I wasn't doing anything with my life, and then I'm watching all of my friends and family kind of do wonderful things. You know, I also struggled a lot and wanted to talk to them, but I didn't want to bug them, and it was hard. I ended up losing a really, really good friend because she, in my opinion, she just doesn't support what I'm doing, and it's like I have a choice, but I kind of don't, you know. The man I love is in Italy, and I want to make that work, and whatever she thinks, and it's good. I wish I didn't lose her, but you know, you start doing these huge things in your life and making changes and moving away and taking huge steps in your life. You're bound to leave some people behind, and they're bound to leave you behind. So I'm not angry about it. I'm not mad anymore. It was pretty upsetting, but it happens. But yeah, I did get to reconnect with a lot of my amazing, awesome friends, and just talk about how they've been and talk about my trip. And it was just amazing to come home to such a support system. And I knew that, you know, I wasn't getting left behind. Like nobody forgot about me. Like, these are my people, these are my friends, this is my support system, and I'm theirs. And I ended up having an amazing family and friends community there in Italy. But yeah, you just kind of feel like, oh my God, I'm so far away from everybody. Like, where are all my people? But I gained new people, and now I have people all over the world. And that is kind of the biggest takeaway from my trips, is that yeah, I struggled, but oh my God, did I also thrive, and I had the most amazing time. I'm so freaking blessed, and I am just over the moon at how amazing it's all gone. I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to figure out what to do next, how to, you know, sustain my life. But for now, I just kind of look back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a pretty lucky girl. So yeah, those are my struggles. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Okay, bye.